have a choice. If we choose, stand together to sing out in one voice. It's becoming clear, change is near. We have to take a stand. We can work as one. The time has come. The future's in our hands. Let the world sing, joined in harmony. There's a part that is waiting here for you. Let the world sing the song we came to sing. Together, who knows what we can do? In our dream of one world, one life can come true. Let the world sing, join in harmony. There's a song that is waiting here just for you. Join together now. Sing, sing your song we came to sing. Sing it now. Who knows what we can do? Anything, anything could come true. Let the world sing. Things are changing around me now. The things I knew unfamiliar somehow. Nothing is certain, it seems so strange. Nothing is certain except for the change. I've got to rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see. Like a river flowing ever to a greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me. Letting go of all of my plans, they slip away like water through my hands. No place to anchor, I'm drifting at sea. Waves of change rolling over me. I've got to rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see. Like a river flowing ever to the greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me. Everything is changing always. Let it move you. Let it lift you higher, higher, to the place you've always dreamed but never knew. Carry me from the comforts and cages of home. Without my past, without my shame, a new horizon is calling my name. I've got to rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see, like a river flowing ever to the greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me. Rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see, like a river flowing ever to the greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me.
I know, no gong today. Good morning, Unity. How you doing? Awesome. Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a restful Saturday, enjoying your time. And I'm so glad that you're here with us today. It's going to be a special service. If you are online with us today, please know that you are welcome here. We are happy to have you. If you want to hit the like button and join our community virtually, we truly appreciate it. Anyone here in the sanctuary, if you need hearing assistance devices, we do have them in the back. But also remember, try to silence your phones so there's no interruption during service. But if you're ready, we are ready to get the party started. So go ahead and stand up with us and sing This Little Light of Mine.
1, 2, oh, it's just us. I don't have to count.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, you know I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, you know that I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let me hear you. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
You know that
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it
shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Eve. In my family, we would wake up and I had 5 brothers and sisters, and we would go, Merry Christmas, Eve.
So that's how we opened our prayer circle this morning. If you didn't know, like everyone who's in sacred service, we come into the sanctuary and we pray together, and that's the story that we live this morning. Thanks for sharing that with us. Thank you, Amy and Jesse, as our amazing music team today. We love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I want to thank David Karg for facilitating a beautiful meditation this morning. Thank you, David. It was beautiful. So when you walk in this space after it's been infused with a group of individuals meditating, know that as we do so, we're welcoming you. As you're driving here, as we're called, there's a voice saying, I'm supposed to go to Unity. I'm supposed to go to Unity. That's what's happening. That's how powerful that is. So thank you so much. And we do that every Sunday morning at 9:30. So thank you so much. We've done this all month where I introduce myself and I say that this body has the name of Claudia Renee. And I share a couple of things that I say about myself. And part of the teaching is that what is true of me is true of you. And so we've been kind of saying, just like me, when I raise my hand. So after I say my name, because that's not your name, we'll play this little game for a moment. So this body has the name of Claudia Renee, but what I know about myself is that I'm a beloved child of God.
Just like me.
I know who I am as being one with God.
Just like me.
And what I really am is spirit.
Just like me.
Unlimited and free.
Just like me.
And here's the tricky one. And it means that nothing occurs in my experience except that which I've called forth. Ooh. And who I am is an extension of the Creator in form.
Just like me.
Yes. And I'm here to extend and teach only love. Yeah. And so differentiating that from what my role here is that as Rev Claudia, I am in spiritual leadership here, and it is my honor and privilege to be so. Thank you so much for that honor. And we're going to begin with some gratitudes because we've had a really busy week, haven't we? It's been a really amazing holiday week, and we're going to wind back to last Sunday. We had this amazing winter solstice, and we have some photographs of that, but it was facilitated and led by Angela Black, Linda Collins, and then Atika Conte was organizing a whole group of volunteers, and it was a day-long event, and you can see we inhabited the whole campus, and it was amazing, from a drum circle to a walk in the nature path to the what's that thing called? The labyrinth. We built altars and we broke bread together at the end of the day. It was an amazing experience. So thank you so much, everybody who was involved with that. And then on Thursday was the culmination of our Christmas community sponsorship, the sponsorship of a community. So I want to thank the community for all of the gifts and the gift cards that you brought, and that those gifts were delivered to the community by they were wrapped by Gary and Jan Jennings and Kathy Rogers, and then they were delivered by Ciro and Melanie Amato. Yeah. And I'd like to thank Pat Igo and Ashley Pennebaker for connecting us with that community. And then finally, a few nights ago, we had Christmas Eve candlelight service. I want to acknowledge the amazing music team that you brought together. We had so much fun. I want to acknowledge the readers. We had Gray Purtle, Wendy Sharon, and Janine Hedberg, and Atika Kante as our readers, and the community illuminated in light. So thank you so much. It was really an amazing day. And you know what? Today is a special day as well. Today, who's sitting up here on the platform? Reverend Denise Schubert is with us today. I'm so very grateful that you're here. She will be giving our message today. And it is a special day, a heartfelt day, in which we honor her role as spiritual leader of Unity Naples, and as she is releasing that role, and that we are celebrating you today. We're celebrating all that she has been and done in this community. And what I want to say to the community is that we celebrate our relationship, and that things change, form changes, but relationship doesn't. And so we are honoring the relationship that we have that is eternal, that is ongoing, that is filled with love. And we bless it and know that it unfolds in ways that we may not know right now, in perfect ways. And so this is a day of celebration, of acknowledgement. We will be having a reception afterwards, directly afterwards, in the courtyard, where we will dance, and which is what Reverend Denise's request has been. And so that's what our service and our day will be. So it's the day after Christmas, right? And the day after Christmas, in my book, is the most important day of the year. It really is. Not because it's Christmas Eve, but because we forgot to light our candles. So it's because over the season that's okay, I got it. Over the season we have lit these candles. And as we lit them, we remembered the light of faith, the light of peace, the light of love, the light of joy, as we welcomed on Christmas the light of the Christ within our very own being. And so we just pause for a moment as we just remember that identity, that divine identity. And we whisper with the attunement to the self, I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. That each of us is the Word of God in extension and in expression, and we join here. I declare that we are now attuned to this consciousness and to one another, and it is good and it is bright. And take a breath as you open your eyes and bring that connection to all that you experience today. And now I invite Janine up to do our community purpose statement. Thank you.
Good morning, Unity family. It's so good to see you all. I'm Janine Hedberg, and I am absolutely thrilled. It is my joy from the bottom of my heart to be here as your platform assistant today. Now, I invite you all to stand. We've been sitting too long. Shake a little bit. We're going to get ready for the dancing later. And I'm going to ask you that we recite a shortened version of our community purpose statement. It's going to be followed by one of our favorite parts of the day, the call and response of our December affirmations. Now, they are printed in your bulletin if you would like to follow along. But first, let's just put our hands on our hearts and let's say this all together. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God with the energy of unconditional love. Simply, we are here for God. All right, now stay standing. Now just imagine all the wonderful light that's around you and the light in your heart, and repeat after me. In faith I walk. In faith I walk. In peace I abide. In peace I abide. I know I am the light of the world. I know I am the light of the world. And what's true of me is true of you. And what's true of me is true of you. So you must be the light of the world too. I allow the power of light to guide me in all ways. I allow the power of light to guide me in all ways. As Christ, I abide in perfect safety. I abide in perfect safety. I am joyfully free to give and receive love. I am joyfully free to give and receive love. I bless all of creation with my love. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Now, please stay standing. Take a moment. Greet your neighbors.
You're leaving. Do you want to?
Join me in our community purpose team.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think that God was the sun, but God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, and God needs us to shine into light as we so use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine into light. God needs us to shine into light. God needs us to shine into light as me, as you so use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do, as you show me all that I must do.
And taking a breath, feeling the power and the vibratory field of this song, of this collective consciousness, of this unified field of love, of power, of joyfulness, of purposefulness. Having proclaimed and claimed, use me, God, look out. What I know, what I claim is that as this collective gathering right here, right now, something wonderful and magnificent is indeed happening. It is a rising in consciousness. It is the entering into the upper room where we see beyond the appearances and we see to the light and the truth that sets us free now and always and in all ways. And so taking that breath and feeling that as standing and abiding in, knowing who we are, what we are, how we serve, and being the emissaries of the light of the world right here and right now, I bless this gathering. I know that it is perfect in absolutely every way. I bless our speaker. I bless our Reverend Denise. I see her as an open and divine channel for spirit, and that the movement of spirit flows through her easily, effortlessly, gracefully, and it lands upon open hearts and minds that receive exactly what we are here to receive this day, and that somehow we are made new in a most magnificent way. Oh, how grateful I am, because I know that as we shift, as we are in this miracle-mindedness, the whole world is seen anew and therefore is made new. This gathering matters. Each person, each individuation here matters. And we rise in this consciousness and gratitude. We let it go, we let it be. We know it returns fulfilled, and so we can be in the joyful celebration of allowance and surrendering, for it is all good. And so it is. Amen. 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 Thank you.
Today's reading is from an absolutely marvelous book. If you haven't read it, please do. It's called The Wilderness by Iyanla Vanzant. I'm getting out my tissues. The spiritual wilderness is not a place for wimps. In fact, those who are not seriously committed to their spiritual well-being will never be invited into the wilderness. The wilderness is a place of deflation where only masters are taken. They are invited in to strengthen and refine themselves in preparation for something exquisitely divine. The wilderness is a place of spiritual dryness and desolation, where we find ourselves tempted to believe in thirst and helplessness. We feel lost, alone, and doomed for destruction. The sands of past regrets and future fears whip around so violently, we are tempted to shield our eyes and bury our heads. The structures of our beliefs, habits, and creature comforts stand like trees blocking our path. In the wilderness, we are overwhelmed by beliefs of self-righteousness, self-importance, and self-reliance. What is unfortunate is we don't know how we got to this place. And the good news is it is also the most fortunate aspect. Since we have no idea how we got to where we are, we must become totally dependent on something within ourselves in order to get out of ourselves. In the wilderness, we become fully reliant on God. However long in the wilderness experience lasts, we eventually come to the profound awareness, I am not alone. I cannot do this alone. Being in the wilderness is not an indication of having done something wrong or that you need to do something right. It is the result of giving your spiritual identity the deepest attention you can muster. The wilderness is the quest of many and the privilege of few. Consequently, there is no way to ask for it. It just happens when we're ready, aligned, and most unsuspecting. The wilderness is a divine experience. Self-mastery is not the result of the experience. It is the invitation.
I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes of curiosity, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in the endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away. All your money won't another minute by. Oh, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. Everything is dust in the wind.
Cheerful, right? I can't believe I made them do that. It's like, hi. Hi, everybody. Not so dismal. Really, it's a beautiful song. This was October 1977 is when Kansas sang that song. And I recently heard it on The Voice. I don't know how many of you listened to The Voice, but the winner of The Voice this year was a sibling group called A Girl Named Tom, and they did this song. And when they did the song, having had my own experience, which I'll share with you today, it made me full of the Spirit. It made me feel deep, and it's like the words were so true. It's like, really, we just don't know. We're just dust, so we have to embrace life fully. And I was doing a little research on this guy, and the lead guitarist, and this was his first acoustical song, and he wrote these words because he'd heard an American Indian person say, "We are dust in the wind," And he was amazed at how much people love this song. And they love this song because it's true, right? And it brings us into the truth of our immortality, really, but also our temporariness in this body on this earth. So I do have a joke. And, well, it's kind of an old one, but it's kind of perfect for the song. So there was this very, very old, wealthy man. Not so old, but he was very, very, like, more money than God kind of guy. And he found out he was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and his death was looming in front of him. So he decided to bargain with God to let him bring something into heaven. And God said, "You're not allowed to bring anything into heaven. It's a part of the rules. Nothing comes with you." And he said, "Yeah, but I have a lot of money. You should make special dispensation for me because I have a lot of money. I've done a lot of good things with my money, so break the rules for me." So God said, "Fine, one small suitcase. That's it." So the day comes and this old wealthy guy dies and disappears, we would say. He leaves his mortal body. He goes up into heaven. He's greeted at the gates, and St. Peter goes, you have a suitcase? And he goes, "Well, God gave me special dispensation." He goes, "Fine, I need to see what you're bringing in." So he opens up the suitcase, and it's full of gold bullion. And St. Peter looks at this guy and goes, "You could have brought anything. Why would you bring pavement?" So my talk is finding light in the night. Now, I don't want it to be, my mother used to say to me, I don't know why she said this, but she would say, "Whatever you do in life, honey, make people laugh or make them cry." So I think maybe I just did both, right? We made you laugh and made you cry. So my work here is done. But, for those of you who know me, I kind of have a goal. My passion and purpose is not only that we awaken to our spiritual divinity, but that our spirituality is real and practical, and that it applies to us, that we find a way to navigate life because we come into these rooms. And in New Thought, it's tricky because we're such happy people, right? We're happy people. We're happy. We strive for happiness. We talk about the happiness. We don't really visit those things that are not so happy as much as I think we should, because the finding light in the night and the reading is about this experience of what Iyanla calls the wilderness, what others call the dark night of the soul. Now, I have another reading here because I want to make sure you know what it is, and then I'll check in, right? And I'm gonna now, for those of you who don't know, I'm gonna share it with you. But I've just had a dark night of the soul, so I'm speaking to you about something I know something about. Now, it's not my first one, and probably won't be my last one, but it was a good one. It was a friggin' good one. So I'm just saying. But as you can see, it turned out okay, right? I am here, and I'm happier than I've ever been. And I loved, Reverend Claudia, you added to what you said today, this line that says, "Nothing happens in my life that I did not invite in," or something to that effect. And that is a really hard thing to get when what's happening isn't something you want, right? Are you guys feeling what I'm saying? So this is from, I'm going to do my best. One of the end results of my dark night was my vision's affected. So seeing is not what it was before, nor is it what it will be again. It is what it is in this moment. But I'm going to do my best here. He says, Michael Beckwith says, and it's from a chapter he calls How to Make It Through the Night, a luminous view of the dark night of the soul. Luminous, right, really, how to bring light. And I'm going to tell you today the three ways I employed to bring light. And they were pretty successful, so we'll see. We'll see. So he says, this night, which can last moments, days, weeks, and even years, feels like the bottom has fallen out of our lives. Our friends and family don't understand what we are going through, and whatever compassion they offer can't really reach the depth of our despair. The spiritual path we're following has become as dry as dust and clearly isn't working. To an individual accustomed to living in conscious communion with the ineffable, the dark night is an excruciating dry spell without a trace of divine succor. I don't know that word, but the density of the external world presses itself against your soul, weighing heavily on your heart. Maybe God isn't real after all, and enlightenment is just fiction. There is no inner direction or insight, and you feel completely alone. Agonizing emotions of the ego structure convince you that you are not going to survive this hopeless state of being, that you are going to die, and maybe if you did, that would be okay. I know it's heavy, right? But with that said, how many, really, who among you has ever had this experience? Really, a dark night. I promise you, in a room of this many people, some of you are there right now. And if you are there right now, it's okay because you are here. Something within you is directing you to a path of bringing light to wherever you are. Because from a spiritual perspective, it is true that our soul has its own agenda, and that I want to, actually, I may offend someone here, I'm not really sure. But if I do, you know I love you. That was not because I'm a mean girl. I want to tell you that I'm not a person who believes that God teaches us lessons through pain. So when we're going through something hard and we say, well, I'm supposed to learn a lesson, I just want you to know, I think that is, there's no God like that. There's no God that says, I'm going to bring you pain and suffering so that you can learn something enlightened and wonderful. I do think that we live in a world that is still governed by the ego and crazy people. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I'm not quite sure what the world would look like if we were all already spiritually awakened. I'm pretty sure pain and suffering would disappear as an ordinary experience. So, but because that's not the case, things happen. Things happen to us all the time in this field or in this place where we're living. What I do know is that whatever happens to you can be used as a doorway to illumination. It can be used and should be used as an awakening, a tool for awakening, a tool for getting to know yourself better, a tool for connecting to whatever it is we're calling God. The older I get, the less I want to use the word, because the word is so loaded for most people, right? Because it sounds like it's something external that's trying to please us or punish us or but what I do know is that we are surrounded by something so amazingly real and beautiful and loving and connecting that we want to use our hardships to feel our way into that. And in fact, most of our hardships do lead us into that experience. So now, just to give everyone background, because not everyone here knows, is I had my hip replaced on November 1st, which, by the way, I can dance today. And it's kind of a miracle, really. It's been 7 weeks tomorrow, which is pretty awesome, especially given that 2 days after my major hip surgery, I had a stroke. I know. I told you it was a good one, right? And obviously the impact of my stroke, I'm still here. I have no really deficit in my physical body other than my vision. But I have to tell you that when I went into the ER, that was not the case. I was in I had just had surgery. So 2 days, I was in pain. I couldn't, my sisters were struggling with me. We went into the ER too late, really 2 days after the stroke. And I remember being in the ER, and my vision then was like this, like people were distorted. Like the right side of them was huge and the left side of them looked like they were amputated. So I remember sitting there in the emergency room going, what is wrong with these people? Really, that's what I was saying. What's wrong with them? Why does everybody look like monsters? It was terrifying. But when I went in and they came and they took a picture of my head, and the doctor came and he said, you have had a stroke. Well, in my world, that is a very bad word. I mean, that is my life is over word. Partially because I was an ER chaplain for a year, where when you're an ER chaplain, you're in the emergency room and you're there to go be with people's families, right? And there were 2 words I hated to hear, which is code stroke. Code stroke means somebody's coming in who's just had a stroke. This is an emergency. Get yourself to wherever they are as fast as you can get there. And mostly it was never pretty. So I was filled with terror. Really, that's just the truth. It's like, well, my life is over here. My life is over. I'm never going to work again, drive again. I'll never go home again. That's truly the experience I was having. So they admitted me into the hospital. So I was there for a total of, I think 7 nights. It's a little foggy. Into Lee Memorial. Has anybody been in Lee Memorial? Has anybody been in Lee Memorial in Fort Myers in the emergency department? It's really dismal. So I call it Motel 66. Motel 6, right? That was my Motel 6 experience. And I was in a very dark place. I did not have my private room. They did not bring me coffee in the morning. It mostly consisted of having a lot of tests and me feeling just really sorry for myself, and I couldn't shower, put on any makeup. It was not pretty. Are you with me? So, so I wanted to share 3 things that really happened to me in consciousness, how I got myself out of this predicament in as good a way as I did. Somewhere along the way, I realized, and mostly through another light being who ended up, remember, I wasn't in a private room, and I was in a place where the sickest of the sick were, so there was a lot of moaning and groaning. There was no showers being taken, and it was just very unpleasant. I remember going, how did I get here? Like how can this possibly be that I'm in this room? But they brought in a woman who was in a bed next to me, and she was so cranky. Oh my God, this woman was so mean to the nurses, so mean, so cranky, so inconsolable, so insulting, so kind of vicious, really. And I had this realization. Number 1, it's all about attitude and approach. Life is all about attitude and approach. And I remember saying to her, do you know, if you want that Diet Coke, you better be nice to these people, because you are depending on them right now. But even on a deeper level, any time in life, you have only 2 choices. Are you going to choose the path of love, or are you going to choose the path of fear? Love or fear? And you could say love or hate, kindness or meanness. There's only 2 choices. And quantum physics, the principle of observation, says that how we are affects how it is. Like the whole world is responding to you. So I just realized that I had to change that I had to get with it, right? That I had to change my attitude, that I had to begin to lean into my spiritual escrow. Do you know what that is? It's what you have stored up. So when you have a moment like that, you've got something to lean into. And by the way, I think this woman was like an angel sent by God. It's like, you want to see what you're going to get? Just be like her. Now, I wasn't really like that, but I wasn't loving or helpful either, right? So I started, I got up and brushed my teeth. Oh, and by the way, I'm laying in so I'm there because I had a stroke, not because I had a hip replacement. So I'm going to people, you have to walk me. I have to walk. You have got to get me out of this bed and walk me on a walker, or else I'm never going to walk again, right? So it's like, come get me. I have to go brush my teeth and comb my hair, right? And decide to show up in a different kind of way. So the miracle that occurred out of that, and it is really a really big miracle, is 3 of the days I was there because the MRI machine wasn't available. I kept saying, what? I'm here because the MRI machine is not available? But I was mad about it. I didn't even deal with what I was mad about. I just changed my attitude. So a doctor finally came in and he said, Denise, I need you to take a statin. And I said, fine, get me an MRI and out of this hospital today and I'll take one. That's exactly what happened. I had an MRI 1 hour later, a 5 milligram statin. And so number one, all the places in your life where you're mad or cranky or complaining, just know that your attitude and your approach is everything. In fact, I'm not sure, after 25 years of ministry, that that's not really our primary teaching, is that life will be to you what you are to life, right? Because there's no God rewarding or punishing you for your behavior. It's all kind of a spiritual science that we're participating in. So something wonderful happened. I didn't really get to go home because they decided that what they needed to do was to give me an angiogram. And if you don't know what an angiogram is it's when they go into your brain with a camera through your groin normally. They can also go through your wrist, but they thread a little camera up into your brain and take some pictures. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But they couldn't perform it at this hospital, so they had to move me. No, not geez. Oh my God. They moved me from Motel 6 to the Hyatt Regency. And I'm not kidding. I went to Gulf Coast into my own room. Now, I couldn't really enjoy it because I couldn't walk, but nonetheless, I had my own bathroom. It was beautiful. And the staff there they were amazing. So it was a natural outcome from what happens when you love people. Because when you love people, they want to help you. They want to be your friend. They want to support you in your goals, right? So I'm very clear that something in me caused the something in them that had me moved so effortlessly. Are you with me so far? Yeah. So the second thing that happened, so now I'm there waiting for, and I'm pretty happy. I'm as happy as I could be in the moment. My attitude is different. I'm still not reconnected to Source yet, but my attitude's good. But the nurses are wonderful, and I was there one night, and the angiogram was scheduled for the next day, and I woke up that morning afraid, and my fear was, I already knew my brain was a little bit kerfuffled because I'd had a stroke, right? So I have kerfuffle going on in my brain. And I thought, well, what, they're going to go up there with a camera and go in my brain? So I decided that there was probably a pretty good chance I might not make it through. So then I decided, well, now what do I do, right? Because it was a very real experience for me. So, so the next thing is I reconnected. And I think Tony has a clip of a song I want him to play. It's a Ricky Byers Beckwith song that I end up listening to that helped me get to the second, which is to remember that love is all there is. So I'm going to ask him just to play that. I might cry.
There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite one love. there can only be God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Oh, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is wisdom and a knowing, a loving and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Oh, just say until it shows. I will pray and I won't move on till I know, oh, that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God.
Turn it off. The moment. So what happened, so wasn't that beautiful, right? The part that was most important is that I will not move until I know. I will not move until I remember that whatever you need is there for you, right? So now, and I'm gonna get more teary as we move into ecstasy, obviously, right? So about the same time, so I think my angiogram was scheduled for something like 1 o'clock. About 10:30 or 11, this nurse comes in. This wonderful nurse, this happy, big, joyful nurse. And I was kind of crying and worried and trying to find my way. And she goes, honey, do you know about 7 to 70? I said, well, I don't know. She goes, well, listen, 70, this is what she said to me. Don't worry about a thing. You're on God's time now. That's what she said. You're on God's time now. She goes, that hip belongs to God. Your stroke belongs to God. She goes, so just, she goes, really, you're going to be standing up there with your earrings on. I'm telling you, this is what she said. You're just going to be strutting. You're going to be walking down the street. Because why? Because you're on God's time now. And it was so inspiring to me. No, I told her, I said, I've been preaching for 20 years, and I've never done that. But there was something in her faith, I think the truth is we're on God's time always, right? But there is something when we're in trouble or when we're approaching the end of this experience, right? That we all need to remember that we belong to something greater, that it isn't really about this. It's why Everything's Dust in the Wind is so a beautiful song, because ultimately, there's nothing to do but be in the present moment, allowing whatever's happening to happen without resistance. It's a Buddhist teaching also of non-attachment, right? That suffering is the end result of attachment. Attachment to your job, attachment to your whatever it is, attachment to your earrings, whatever it is. So the best part really came at the end. So are you with me? So love is all there is. Love of people, love of the situation, knowing that love is surrounding you, that whatever else we make up, it's not true. And if you make up that it's not love, then that's what you're going to get. Why? Because we live in a law of attraction that says the world is going to be to you what you are being to the world. But then comes the part about ecstasy, which is tied to gratitude. And I have to tell you, I might, I don't know, maybe I won't. So what I did after this nurse left, because my angiogram was coming, is I put on big music. I filled my private room with Josh Groban, Andrea Bocelli, Celine Dion, Il Divo, and I cried Because, do you know these songs? They are big pro-life songs. I mean, these songs are about magnificence and love and heart. And so I just let myself get into it. And I'm sure they walked into my room taking my blood pressure and going, wait, singing in my heart. But I was in it, truly, it made me ecstatic. And I, in that moment, truly surrendered to whatever it was going to be, and not in any kind of morbid way. Truly, I was fine. If I lived, I was fine. If I died, I was fine. It didn't really matter what it was. So they came down and got me, and I'm happy and present. They take me down to prep me for the angiogram. And I have 4 surgeons, a neurological team, which was like the world. I don't know how this person got this team. I'm a 70-year-old on Medicare, HMO. So I don't know how I got this team of people, but they were all my brother's ages. So I felt like I was surrounded by younger brothers that all came and talked to me. And the primary surgeon came in, and I asked him, I said, so, doctor, what is the best? I said, I know you want to do your very best job today, and I want to do whatever your best job is, so what's your A game? That's what I asked him. I said, what is your A game here? And he goes, that's an interesting question. And he said, well, my A game is that we don't find anything, and I send you home with a baby aspirin and a statin. And I said, okay, I'll play that game, right? And then the other thing that happened is they decided not to put me under. They decided to let me be present. No, it was ecstasy. So when I don't know why, when they're in your brain, so they're taking these pictures. And by the way, Cyril Amato, I told you this, I think. So the surgeon was Greek, but he had this big voice. Say hello, Cyril. Hello. Exactly. Dr. Plakis. So I was awake for the whole thing, right? So Dr. Plakis is just pushing this camera up, and he goes, take a breath, hold, and don't move. Like 11 times. Take a breath, and it sounded just like Cyril, so I had all this comfort around me. And I'm just going to share this with you because people find it interesting that when the camera's in your brain, depending on which area of your brain it's in, you experience whatever that sense is. So if it was taste, I tasted chocolate. And if it was smell, I smelled pineapple. Do you understand that whatever they were in, there was this effect on the body, and it was like, whoa. I remember saying to him, this is really creepy. And then there was a place where they did a 360 view of the brain, took pictures. It hurt a little bit, but it was like a 4th of July in my head. All these lights going pop, 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 pop. At any rate, obviously, came out of the angiogram, I was simply fine and simply grateful, really, and I went home the next day. So, but this experience of gratitude, I could not say the word gratitude without crying for days. See, it was right there. Because, it wasn't really gratitude because I didn't die, or gratitude because I got to go home. It was really all of it. Like what was so dismal that I was going home. I got to go home, right? I got to go home because it wasn't looking that way for a minute, like I wouldn't get to go home. So I leave you really today with, I think, the whole point being that in the night there is light. And in the night, in some ways you don't have to worry about it, because I do believe that whatever you need will be brought to you to get you through that night. I also believe that there's something we have to do to make that help that's coming to you welcomed. There's something amazing about our philosophy, faith, and way of life that gives us this perspective that is different than a normal theological perspective, which is that God is almighty and we are puny. It gives us a perspective that says we are part of the story, that we are in interplay together. And I'm not so sure we know that before we have an experience that shows us that where we feel that we're not. So that the love between nurses and patients, I realized that this isn't true. I think this is true for a lot of New Thought churches, actually. That when we, what can I say here? If you know of somebody who's going through a dark night, don't hesitate to run to them. Don't hesitate to call them. Don't hesitate to be in their face about it. Don't listen to them when they say, oh, don't bother me. No, it's okay, I'm okay. It's not true. They need you. Do you understand what I'm saying? They need your attention. They need your love. And I'm going to be more like that. You know, I've never been a very good pastoral care minister, but that's over, right? Because it's all we got for people is love, right? Yeah. Amen. So let me see if I'm done. So I'll close with two things. One is another reading from Michael Beckwith. And by the way, know that I leave you. I'm stepping away from the community, one, because I need to, right? That driving's a little not in the picture for me right now, and I live in North Fort Myers. And some things happen that need synthesizing, but I'm not far from you, right? Because it's, as Claudia said, Reverend Claudia said, it's all relationship. The only place we've ever lived is in each other's hearts, right? Because God doesn't care where the bodies are. So Michael says, during the dark night, our relationship with the infinite becomes intimate and personal to us. How many have had that experience, really? How many of you got closer to life, to God, to spirit, out of really what was awful, and then you survived, and then you're different, right? And then we get to be different for a while until something within us wants to go even deeper. And then whatever we need to take us deeper is going to take us deeper. But the thing to remember is that when you're taken deeper, to trust that whatever you need will come to you, right? That you're not alone, that we do not walk alone. We trust where the Spirit is leading us and bless the dark night of the soul for illuminating our path. This impress of the self upon the self is what is called making it through the night. Walk into it with confidence and trust. And then this particular psalm has never meant anything particular to me until now, so I'll share it with you, which is 139. If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take wings of the morning and dwell in the outermost parts of the sea, even where your left hand shall lead me and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall upon me, even the night shall be the light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you. For the light shines as the day, and the darkness and the light are both alike to you. And so it is. Amen. So let's pray on that. Ooh. Mm-hmm. It's all good.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
So take a breath. Let this feeling of love, real love, true love, unconditional love, agape love, this love that transcends circumstances, material things, transcends even the time in our bodies. It is all that there is. There is a power and a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One power, one love that can only be God's love. And it is not outside. It is in you. It is in me. It's where we meet. It's where we greet. It's where we create from. And so in this moment, we simply remember to not call anything good or to not call anything bad, to not make it right or not make it wrong. Wherever you are in your life, take this moment to call it God, to call it love, to bring your attitude and your attitude of hope and possibility into the circumstances, into the relationship, into your body, wherever that dis-ease is. And remember that there is only one power and one presence.
When I lose myself, and when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say,
You could sing here.
there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals. Love that heals. Love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
There is a wisdom and a knowing, a loving and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Just say, until it shows, I will pray, and I won't move until I know that I walk in the love of God. And so it is.
Wow. Thank you, Reverend Denise. Thank you for ministering to us. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Janine, I'm going to invite you up too. This is our time of the invitation to offering, and that there is only love, right? And so we just infuse our gift and our offering with that love. And I just wanted to let you know that there is a letter of love that has been written for you by the leadership of this community. And if you have not received this envelope, I just invite you after service at the back and in the foyer, we will have an envelope for you. So please do get one. Thank you.
Yes, there is only love. Thank you, Reverend Denise. Thank you, Reverend Claudia. Now, here are a few ways that you can give. First, there's text to give. Just send the word give to 239-230-4704. And if this is your first time giving this way, you will receive a link with instructions. But if you've given this way before through text, you can simply text a dollar amount to this number at any time. You can also give through our website at unitynaples.org/give, or mail a check to Unity Naples at 2000 Unity Way, Naples, Florida, 34112. Now, for anyone giving cash or a check here in the sanctuary, please place your gift in the drop boxes located at the back doors as you exit. If you're giving cash, please be sure to take it and put it in one of our tithing envelopes and fill it out who it's from. And those are available at the back table. And now it's a really great thing. You can donate using your credit card and you'll get points at Higher Grounds after service. Now, thank you so much in advance for your gifts. And as you take this time to give and reflect on all there is to be grateful for, will you say this with me? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you so much, Janine. Also want to point out that we have our contributions concierge table in the back, so you can also give that way through credit card. Rev D, it's very appropriate that you mentioned listening to Josh Groban. You mentioned to me last week when we were in the courtyard that you feel very lifted up by this community. The feeling is very mutual from us, from this community. This is one of the first songs that we sang with you New Year's last year. Really great way to celebrate all you've done for us in this past year and all I know that you will continue to do. So thank you.
When I am down and my soul's overflowing, blessings come and my heart lifted be, and I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Sing it with us.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
They did it again. I'm just crying. Thank you, music team, Amy, Jesse. It was wonderful. Now, as we begin to wrap up our celebration service this morning, just a few reminders of what's coming up. And now coming this Friday, and please put it on your calendar, it's going to be a wonderful service. You're invited to a very special New Year's Eve Burning Bowl service. Join Reverend Claudia for a really transformative process to clear our consciousness of thoughts and ideas that no longer serve us. Acoustic music will be provided by Amy and Jesse, and we're going to have crystal singing bowls by Angela Black. So please do plan on coming. And as we enter into this new year, a reminder that we are asking for some really sacred volunteers. So search your hearts. We're welcoming nominations for our 2022 Board of Trustees. The board is a group of Unity members who have demonstrated through their time, talent, and finances a deep dedication to the well-being of our community and a commitment to their own spiritual growth. If you feel called to serve in this way, please apply at unitynaples.org. And now I'd like to invite David Karg up. David's going to just share a little bit about the process.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I need a mic, right? Just a little bit. Okay. Thank you, Janine. So, as a former board member and ultimately the president of the Board of Trustees of Unity Naples, I've been asked to give a couple of comments on the application process, which we're underway right now. So each Sunday, we get to come in this beautiful sanctuary, hear these incredible messages, the phenomenal music, and to share in fellowship in unconditional love. Now, how good is that, right? Yes. But how often do we really think about what it takes to orchestrate this Sunday service? You know, I'm going to be really honest with you that we have a business to run here. A business. We got legalities, we have finances, we have short-term, long-term goals. We have to, hire the minister. We have to make sure that our direction is in sync with our bylaws. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So who is this board? Well, folks, it's you and it's me. The board are volunteers, okay? And I'll tell you what, my time on the board, I grew so much personally, professionally, and spiritually. Personally, I got to tell you, I remember the first time I'm in a board meeting, I'm going, yeah, and then, a little while later, my hand would go up like this, and finally I was going, yeah. But I really felt engaged, and I felt the maturity that I was able to gain by that experience was phenomenal. And the other thing is professionally. I mean, okay, so I was in sales, but I didn't know all the intricacies of a business. I went, holy moly. You have so much greater respect what goes on behind the scenes and what it takes to run a company and to run Unity of Naples, for example. And then spiritually, the great thing about, I think, growing spiritually on the board is I understood that I can practice spiritual principles while running a business. I can practice those spiritual principles and bring them in as part of my life. So empowering. So, one of the major things we teach here is, as you give, so shall you receive. And so I just want, right now, I just ask everyone to close your eyes. And just take a nice deep breath. And just drop down into your heart space. And connect with the divine presence within. Your higher self, your true self. Just listen. Just ask, are you there? Are you there? Am I called to serve on the board of Unity in Naples, sharing my time, my talents, my treasure? And as we open our eyes, if you feel any nudge now, or nudge within the next 7 days, I encourage you to take an application packet. Now here's the thing, I don't know anything about the board. I have so many questions, I can't apply because I don't know what's going on. Guess what? Part of the application process is we have live interviews. You can ask anything you want. And truly, this is done in an atmosphere of total transparency. Okay? So, Is Alero here? I didn't see her today. So I guess I'm the one that's going to be out in the courtyard. Alero, okay. Alero's here. Yeah, there you are, dear. Okay. Alero and I will be out in the courtyard after the service. We're going to hand out packets. For application process, you can also go online, unitynaples.org. And I want you to know that these have to be done by, everything has to be in the office by January 3rd. So I'm just going to leave you with this. Am I called to serve on the Unity Board of Trustees, serving my time, my talents, and my treasure? As we give, so shall we receive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. I was actually on the board with David, and everything he said is true. Everything he said is true. Now, with so much going on around campus and online, please check our website regularly at unitynaples.org. And of course, take your bulletins home with you as a reminder of our upcoming events. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday as Reverend Claudia kicks off the new year with a special white stone ceremony and her message entitled New Name.
Wonderful. I feel like that was the best board nomination announcement I've ever heard. I feel like we just had an altar call. Wow. All right. So this is our opportunity to welcome you if you're here for the first time. And what I want to say, I want to invite you to stand, and if you are willing, first time here to a Sunday service. And just know and hear that whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we want you to know how welcome you are here. Could be online. We can say that to those who are online as well. And so know that you have our blessing. And anyone willing to stand who's here? I think I see a couple people who are new. Thank you. Thank you. We love you. And we bless you, and we're so very grateful that you're here. And we have a gift for you that will be given. In fact, you can just meet this, well, I guess it's being brought out to you today. So thank you so much. There is a gift for you. And if you didn't stand, just know that there is a gift at the back table, and you'll be greeted by someone. And let us have your information so that we can communicate with you. And as I said earlier, there will be a celebration in the courtyard immediately following the service, which is just in a few moments. But first, what I'd like to do is invite Reverend Denise to come back up and stand center stage, please. You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just gets a little stiff.
Okay. All right. And I would like to invite Mark Russell, who is the president of our Board of Trustees, up as well.
I'd actually like the rest of the board to join me up here as well.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Did anybody bring a Kleenex box?
So there are board members who are not here today, and
Yes,
you know
right.
their love is with us as well. Cyril has actually agreed to open with a little bit of a prayer before I do my statement. So.
It's that voice.
It's that voice. Okay.
All right.
Just don't make me look.
I would like everybody just hold their hands out, please. And let's just close our eyes and turn within. And just recognize the activity of God that is right here, right now. All that love, all that peace, all that joy that is flowing with us, through us, and in us. That is right here. We recognize all that. And we align ourselves with that spirit. We align ourselves with that joy, with that activity, with that love and that peace. And as we align ourselves, we are all one with this joy. We are all one. And I know right now that Reverend Denise is exactly in the right place, that she is exactly in the right time of her life to be whoever she needs to be, to do whatever she needs to do. And I affirm that this direction, that this path is truly blessed. And I ask the Holy Spirit, just come right in and just wrap your loving arms around Rev Denise and guide her on this brand new journey. Behold, I make all things new. And I just do this in the deepest gratitude, in the deepest love. I am so grateful to know this wonderful person and to have served with her. And I simply just let this go, knowing that it's fulfilled, that everything that is going on is exactly what is supposed to be happening, that our love from all this congregation, from the board, from Reverend Claudia, and everyone around this community is just extended outward. We love you, we honor you, and we behold the Christ in you. And so it is.
And so it is. Amen.
So you're amazing, truly amazing. And as I listened to the service this morning, it reminded me about what I'm going to say now, which really is from our congregation and our board. In this realm, we see time sometimes as being a finite definition, a short period of time, a long period of time. But in the spiritual realm, I see time as love because that's all there is. And therefore, it's eternal.
Yes.
A gift for you from the board, no matter what time it is, no matter what time of day, know that our love for you is eternal.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You stay. And now I'd like to re-invite Janine up to the platform along with Linda Collins to represent our prayer chaplains.
Well, many of you don't know, but our prayer chaplain program has been through lots of iterations and wonderful iterations. And Reverend Denise, although she says pastoral care is not her thing, she really helped bring this group back together again. And Linda and I have stepped into leadership of the prayer chaplains. And I'd like to ask all the prayer chaplains to stand if they would. And what we've done is we've all written prayers and messages for you on these cards. And we found a wonderful handmade necklace. We know you like necklaces. This is made by African women, and all of the proceeds go to support saving the elephants. So this is for you from the prayer chaplains. And I'd like us all just to raise our hands and repeat after me. Reverend Denise, we love you.
We love you.
Reverend Denise, we trust you.
Reverend Denise, we trust you.
And Reverend Denise, we behold the Christ as you.
Reverend Denise, we behold the Christ as you.
We love you.
Thank you all.
Should be on already.
And I would just like to add to that you have been an amazing role model for all of us. And we honor that. We're so grateful for you. You walk your talk. You are that spiritual walking prayer. And we just recognize that in you. So we love you so much.
Is it on? Yeah. Huh?
You already have one here, honey.
Oh, yeah. So first, let me just say just how grateful I am in this moment, and that when I came to Unity at the request of Mark Anthony Lord, my friend, and I came here having already been retired for 5 years and was pretty sure I could never love church as much as I've loved you again. And so it's been about 1.5 years, and as Cyril said, where I am now is absolutely perfect, and where you are now is absolutely perfect too. You will live in my hearts forever. And we're not done. I will see you again. But thank you for a wonderful day.
Pause for a moment.
I think I'm singing.
She's getting her dancing leg ready. But what I also want to say, standing here with you, is that as we scan out upon the community together, and as we know the community online, that I'm just going to invite the community to do this, okay? To hug yourselves. Just for whatever you may be feeling, whatever may be experienced in this moment, because it's always tender, these moments, right? Right? It's always tender. And so we're here to love you and to support you, whatever this experience becomes for you and as we go forth from here in this tender moment. And so in a little bit, we will be back out there and we will be singing and dancing. But there's also prayer available. We have several prayer chaplains who are available for prayer, and that we also have prayer slips in the back table that you can go ahead and submit. We are a praying community, and so we want you to know that we are here to pray with you, to love you, and to dance with you as well. So thank you.
I do have one last bit of gratitude on behalf of me and Amy, the music team, and your staff. I'm going to speak personally, but I think this is true of many people here. You have been a champion of my creativity. And my creativity is my livelihood. It is how I express myself. It is how I connect to spirit. It is how I support my family. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Now we're going to sing a really fun song, and we're going to ask Rev D to prove she can dance.
I know this is a very fun song I chose. I want you to stand and sing it. This is where our dancing starts here.
This is our closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm singing to the world. It's time we let the Spirit come in. Let it come on in. I'm singing to the world. Everybody's caught in the spin. Look at where we've been. We've been running around year after year, blinded with pride, blinded with fear. But it's daybreak. If you want to believe, it can be daybreak. Ain't no time to grieve. Said it's daybreak. If you only believe, and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world.
Sing it to the world. Sing it, sing it, sing it to the world. Sing it, sing it.
I'm singing to the world. What's the point in putting it down? So much love to share. I'm singing to the world. Don't you see it all comes around? Feelings everywhere. We've been closing our eyes day after day, covered in clouds, losing our way. But it's daybreak. If you want to believe, it can be daybreak. Ain't no time to grieve. Said it's daybreak. If you'll only believe, and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world.
Sing it to the world. Sing it, sing it, sing it to the world. Sing it, sing it.
Here we go. But it's daybreak. If you want to believe, it can be daybreak. Ain't no time to grieve. Said it's daybreak. If you'll only believe, and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. All around the world.
All right. One last word. We close our service with a final blessing. Simply standing in the spirit of celebration, standing in the, let it be daybreak for you, wherever you are, whatever your life is, whatever it is you are doing, that we simply stand in the space of joyful, spiritual ecstasy. And so we leave this time uplifted and inspired. We go out into our world and let ourselves ooze all over everyone within the sphere of our influence. So it is all good. We call it God. We let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
See you outside.